so I guess, what now, right? You've decided to quit your job. What do you do? And I'm a self-proclaimed quitter, so I've done this quite a few times. But I think I realised that my issue was that I would get to a point in a job where it was all exciting, it's all new, it's all amazing. And then I'd learn it all. I'd get to a decent level. Maybe I'll get a promotion. Not always, but we'll go into that a different time. And then I'd know it all and I'd be like, right, I'm bored now. And then I'd move on.
So you'd move on, you'd quit, whatever, but would you have something lined up or would you just do the bungee jump?
So I've never quit a job without another one. I nearly did in COVID because it was that bad. But I just managed somehow to get a different job, which was ridiculous. I took a mad pay cut for it. But I think that what you need to think about is if you're really hating your job and it's just the worst thing ever, that is taking up half of your week, half of your hours in your life.
It's a third of your life.
Is it a third of your life? So you need to make sure that you at least have neutrality there. If it's draining you, don't do that. But my sort of point that I was thinking of is you don't need to love it. You can have lots of things outside of work that you love and you just sort of are okay with work. Lots of people I know are like, actually, I make enough money. I don't want to be a C-suite member and manage a big team. I'm happy with my job and I spend all my evenings playing table tennis and that's where I get my joy from, right? And I think that is something important to remember, that not all jobs are dream jobs. Some jobs are to make ends meet, to live your life outside. Yeah. But you do need to work out whether you're that sort of person or not.
I think it's really unfair of you to say that you're a quitter, and maybe it's for other things as well. But I don't think if you are going job to job with something lined up, and the only reason why you decided that's you being aspiring to do better, do more, go to something X, you get bored, fine. That's a really cool and grown up thing to do. At least you're not just stagnant.
And also nowadays I really struggled with the fact that I didn't have a vocation. I didn't have something I knew I wanted to do. So when I left uni and I went into hospitality, I quit jobs, lots of jobs, because I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Yeah. I'm in this bar in the center of town where I'm getting fucking harassed every day by people being like, oh, my drink's been taken and it had a tiny bit left. I'm like, what am I doing here? Yeah. I went to uni, I studied really, really hard. And I did my best, and now I'm being shouted at in a bar every night. Do you know what I mean? That there is a lot of people don't know what they want to do, and then they start a job, they quit it. They do a different job. I was an estate agent, quit it, didn't like it. And you can go through trying to try different things.
And I think to flip it on its head, being a quitter is not always a bad thing, right? As you say. I do agree totally with what you're saying, that I'm amazing and it's brilliant. Obviously. Yeah. But being stuck in a stagnant job, the amount of people that I've worked with, Jesus Christ, who are in these jobs, and some of them are pretty toxic. So there were horrible things going on, but I enjoyed the work and I'd get to the point where I was happy and I'd move on. They were there for 5-6 years and still moaning about it.
I'd say
and
that's
they're still
worse
there
than being
now.
A quitter.
Exactly.
Much worse than being a quitter.
Do not sit somewhere. It's the same with the relationships. Do not sit somewhere or be with someone that you hate and you're bored of, or you're having a shit time just because you feel like you're too scared to move on.
Oh, hi, I'm so glad you're still here. Well, you get a little surprise. You get a little treat for still being here. Do you want a nail gun? Do you want to nail something? Do you want to nail a person? Whatever you want to nail, let us know in the comments. Also subscribe to us and you will win a nail gun. To do for all your nailing purposes.
For all your nailing needs.
All your nailing needs are met by this gun.
Draper kindly gifted this to us to gift to you guys.
You do the professional.
So if anyone would love a nail gun, then make sure to comment underneath this YouTube video. I know you might be listening elsewhere, but comment on the YouTube video and make sure to subscribe on YouTube, and we will pick a lucky winner with the funniest answer. So go ahead and do that.
Do you want to nail?
What you want to nail, not who.
I mean, yes, we are not saying that you should nail anyone with this.
Oh yes, health and safety.
Health and safety, Meg. I haven't got my goggles.
It's also just legal.
Yeah, legally, we do not recommend you nailing anyone with a nail gun.
Yeah, we want you to dump him, not nail him.
Make sure to comment, subscribe, and one of you guys will be lucky enough to win this nail gun.
And stay safe.
Stay safe, please.
Stay safe.
Don't point it at your loved ones.
And your family and friends, stay safe.
I know it's effort, and sometimes, one of our friends, bless him, he's trained to be an architect. Never be an architect, by the way. I nearly did it, and I'm so glad I didn't. They get paid nothing. They have so much student debt. It's awful. And this was 5 years ago. It's not even a job anymore. But we went and saw them at the weekend. It was a Sunday, and his boss messaged him, pissed off that he wasn't online. And it's quite difficult in that field, but he eventually got a new job. You still work very hard as an architect, but he was stuck there for quite a while. And I was like, come on, move on. You need to try and get out of these places that are treating you like shit. The grass isn't always greener. But sometimes you really need to look inwards and realise it is.
It's such an unattractive like quality of someone. I'm sorry to say this, but of someone who just is like, oh well, that's what I do. Like, but I can't complain. Like,
if they're okay with that job and they live for the weekend and they live for their evenings and they're okay with it and they're not moaning about the work, they're like, it's making ends to me. I don't love it, but it's fine. That's fine. It's when they're moaning about it.
It would never be me.
No,
and it would never be you.
And
it would never be you.
I think as well, I think you will find, it'll be hard pressed to find someone who doesn't like their job and doesn't moan about it.
But I'm not saying that they don't like it. But I'm saying like, they don't, then it's not their, it's not a dream job. They're just indifferent. They make their money, they spend their money elsewhere.
It's like when you have
that could be okay.
When you have a friend, and I am not bitching about other people because I am that friend who complains about their relationship.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, how many times are you going to complain about your relationship before you do something about it?
Yeah.
Because like you have to also, I can't remember who it was, but I heard someone once say like, you don't want to be a drain, you want to be a radiator.
Yeah.
I
like that.
I want to radiate energy and positivity when I meet my friends. I want to be someone that my friends come to and they're like, oh my God, I just had the best time. It was just so much fun. I don't want to go somewhere and be like, fucking hell, she wouldn't stop talking about a fucking boyfriend or a fucking job.
And you are okay to have times in your life where you're stuck.
Yeah,
so
you
I
can
know
lean on
someone
friends
who is buying a house currently. Amazing, right? And they don't like their job. They want to leave. But they're in their mortgage application. They've got to get in the house first. You know what? Fine. I get it. That makes sense. You're allowed to moan. Give it 3 months and hopefully you'll have the keys and you can bugger off. But that's not 4 or 5 years stuck in the same job where you're moaning about it, or the same relationship and you're moaning about it.
But we were talking about like grieving. Like this is after you have left.
Yeah.
So you've left, you've done, you've made that scary jump, because even if it's a job, it's still a scary jump, right? So then it's the what now, and it's the grieving of what life, because you
picture your life a certain way. Yeah.
I'm very lucky, and it sounds a little bit maybe the same as you, but I always knew what I was going to do, because I'm the arty, artistic, not autistic person. I always knew I was going to do art. I always knew I was going to do an art degree. I always knew I was going to go into a creative field. Like it was like so easy for me, so set. And so that was the life. Now, luckily, like you said, my job I have now is still very creative. And to be honest, I think people said the same thing about me about, she'll always work for someone. She'll never work. I don't know what you said.
She'll never work for someone.
So it's all very like, I don't feel like I'm grieving, but there is part of me that's a little bit like, I do kind of wish I was just back in like that lovely, simple, easy.
You always crave the other thing, and you always look fondly. Once you leave something, you always look fondly of it. And like I get caught up with this with the relationships. After I've broken up with my ex, I do look with rose tinted glasses, and I look at certain things. And
do you know what's in an Olivia Dean song that's come out recently?
What?
Is the grass is greenest where you water it.
Yeah.
So isn't that so nice? Sorry for the interruption. We're really trying to get to 500 subscribers. So if you're enjoying this content, then please do subscribe. If you have anything you want us to talk about, then comment down below. Otherwise, we'll go back to the video. Bye. But it is though, right? Because like your relationship, if you're not nurturing your current relationship and you're just like, oh, my last boyfriend, then you're going to have grass is greener over there.
You can pour and nurture and pour all your energy into something, and if it's not right, it will never flower.
So
it's true.
Like you can't make it happen. And like the other day I was going through things and I found these tickets that he bought me to this Hans Zimmer thing. I love Hans Zimmer. And I thought, I got upset and I was thinking so fondly of this moment, and I didn't think about the horrendous argument that we had that night.
Isn't it weird that our brain like kind of hides that?
Blocks out these things.
And like when you break up with someone, like I feel like there is a time to mourn, there's a time to cry and really cry and just like sob and just be that person. I started going on runs. Now it's the winter. Fuck that. I'm going to go to the cinema instead. Find your thing that makes you feel better, whatever it is that takes your mind off things. I started running before the breakup, because I knew I was about to need it. I was about to need something to get me through, so that when I felt like I needed to just sob and cry and scream, I could go on a run and just get out of my head. And I have been on drives and I have scream cried in the car by myself. Like there's a time to cry.
I love it.
But like very soon afterwards, I feel like you go on this high where you're like, I'm free and single and everything's fine. And I thought everything was great. And then months later, it comes back. It comes back, and that's normal. But like the thing that I think is so important with any of this stuff is like to lean on your people. And it's different. I think your friends would much rather hear you say, I'm sad and I need help, than I'm so sad I'm in this relationship, I'm so sad in this job, I hate this, I'm so unhappy. They'd much rather support you afterwards than listen to you say how much you hate it for years on end.
A cycle that happens a lot, and it will happen with jobs as well, as you constantly say, I don't like my job, I don't like my partner, whatever it might be. And your friends who want to be there go, well, I think you should leave the job, or I think you should break up with that person. And then you resent them. They're like, oh no, no, that's not what I want you to tell me. Or like,
this is the let them theory. You have to let them do. You have to let them come to that conclusion on their own. You can't tell a man to do something the same way you can't make your friend break up with their boyfriend, because they're the one that has to live with that decision for the rest of their life. That they did that.
Your friend will resent you for trying to change their lane before they change it themselves.
And when they decide to change their lane, your friends will be there and support you. The amount of people that I am now so close with that I wasn't as close with before, because everyone came to my aid. And it's such a universal thing. Having a breakup and being like, I broke up with someone, I put it on social media, thousands of people reached out, because you're like,
so nice.
I've broken up with someone, and everyone gets it. Everyone knows that universal feeling. And I'd never been there. And I called my friend Charlie and I said, how did you go through 2 breakups at uni and you functioned like a normal person? I am a broken woman and I watched you go through 2 breakups and you were fine.
See, I'm not waiting for this moment, but I just need to wait for Arlo to die and then I can actually experience.
Oh no. We can't talk about dogs dying on this podcast.
You're like, oh yeah, 1,000 people reached out, everyone can relate, it's a universal thing. No.
But
I'm here. I have no idea. I got broken up by a boyfriend from after 2 weeks, and I got broken up by a boyfriend after 2 months. And those timings are zip, nothing. Like, I was like, okay, bye. Like, didn't like you that much anyway.
Yeah.
And then I got married.
But when someone says I'm going through a breakup, you know to be like, shit, you're okay. You know it's serious. Yeah, you know it's hard. Even if you've not been through it yourself. And then when you go through it yourself, you know it's real.
And I'm like, yeah, you know what? If you got run over by a bus, they'd replace you immediately. So you're all right.